You know, since I can remember, I've been fascinated with the devil. Don't ask me why. I have no earthly idea. I am a retired Catholic and went to Catholic school from kindergarten through high school. And the figure that I never could get a grip on was the devil. I heard about him a lot. Satan, Lucifer, Lex Lucis, the giver of light, fallen angel. The story, none of it made any sense to me. So God kicks him out, but he keeps all his powers. When was the last time you ever heard of somebody being fired, doesn't turn in their door key, their path, their key to the restroom, whatever. And then Michael, the archangel, he's responsible for fighting the demons. I'm not sure. The pictures of the devil were always just. How about The Exorcist? Tell me The Exorcist is not one of the greatest films of all time. And if you think about it, the actual the standards of technology were so base then, but it was the story. It was the story. Rosemary's Baby. And then later on it got trite. Devil's Advocate. Lucifer was that angel, whatever. I mean, they kind of joke about it. But I've always been fascinated with it. Every Halloween, every single Halloween, I was the devil. And I never thought, I thought, well, what does the devil do? We'll stop for a second. I just have to explain to you kind of as a prolegomenon, as a proem, as a précis, so to speak, why it is I'm fascinated by this. And it goes back to my early parochial school, which did more to fine-tune my critical thinking skills than anything you can imagine. And that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. But first, dear friend, I ask you to do me a favor. You know what I'm going to ask you to do. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It's critical. We need those numbers, those algorithms. Now, please hit that little bell so you'll be notified of live streams and new videos. And I'm going to tell you about our great sponsor, our friends at My Patriot Supply. And the link you need to know is preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. I have looked and seen these food preparedness company, and they're fine, but this is the best. They are the I don't know what the word is. The zenith, the apex. They're colossal, Brobdingnagian, immane. They're it. And preparewithlionel.com. The minimum you need per person is a 90-day food supply kit. And if you go to preparewithlionel.com, they knock $200 right off the top. $200. And what it does is you will have for your family, for you or whoever. Remember per person, 25-year shelf life, 2,000 calories a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, you name it, delicious, toothsome victuals and the like. 120 pounds of food stacked in these beautiful modular little buckets are beautiful. It's just terrific. But the bottom line is you're going to need, I don't have how to tell you this, you're going to need emergency food, and you will thank your lucky stars and me and preparewithlionel.com, because you will have done it now when it mattered and when you could. So do yourself and your family a favor. Preparewithlionel.com. This is not an exaggeration. Preparewithlionel.com. You know I'm telling the truth. Of course I am. I don't know why I even said that. I've always loved the idea of the personification of evil in one person. And it never made sense to me. Never made sense to me intellectually. I'm thinking, I think we're pretty much up to it ourselves. I don't think we need the source of this horror in a person. So I've never necessarily adhered to the notion of a singular source of horror, criminality, predation, victimization, and the like. But I have always thought there must be something in this world today that is beyond anything that we could possibly understand and recognize. Because the level of horrors that we are seeing, the level of sin, the level of crime, the level of victimization, the level of, as I said, predation at every level, especially on our children. Pedophiles, ephebophiles, hebophiles, chronophiles, paraphiles, demented, sick, but predatory. It's one thing if you think this. It's one thing if you, in your weird and demented mind, have this particular propensity or predilection for something which is a bit off. That's one thing. That's a thought. We're not talking about mere thoughts. We're talking about something that is beyond this. And one of the things which I've always been fascinated by, and I don't want to go too much into detail, but I have studied, not as a practitioner, but studied what you might call voodoo, black magic. I've always been fascinated that one of the things that everybody has always wanted and prayed upon is the innocent soul, the innocent, uncontaminated, pure soul. This never before destroyed spirit. You think I'm getting a bit kind of overreacting? I'm not even getting started yet. I've been a lawyer for 40 years. And I first started in as a prosecutor and was assigned to the juvenile division. And specifically the area that I found to be the most horrible, the most absolutely incredibly horrible, was that of dependency. A dependency where children were deemed to be dependent upon the state for protection and the like. Where kids were themselves victims of some of the most horrific, the most unconscionable horrors anybody could even imagine. And there is an evil, and maybe it was always there. Maybe this propensity or predilection towards humans to be this evil, maybe it was there. Maybe today, because of social media, maybe that might be potentiating the problem. I don't know. But all I know is that when you say and you mention evil, people always mention satanic. And the term has been used sometimes almost, I don't know if it's meant to actually convey the notion of Satanism per se, or whether it's become synonymous. But I'll never forget my dear friend Maury Terry years ago, who was investigating the Son of Sam. And, I have his book behind me, and I don't want to get it. And his book is called, the book is called, just a second, be great if I have this, but I want to make sure I've got this. Yes, The Ultimate Evil. The Ultimate Evil. Maury Terry. And what he always told me, and we were very good friends, what he always told me was that the people that were responsible for this, the people that were actually involved in the various horrors attributed to Berkowitz and the Son of Sam, were part of satanic cults, covens. I don't know if that's witches, cabals, whatever the particular name for this is. That there was everything. I don't want to go too much into detail. Please read it. But everything from people who were trying to record these horrible events to, well, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get too. But he talked about the notion of Satanism. Satanism that was a part of this. And it was never I mean, it was mentioned, but not really. So while I am not of the mindset that there exists in one form, one source of horror, namely the devil, I do believe, absolutely, how can you not, that there are practitioners and there are acolytes and there are followers and there are minions and there are apostles of this horror that exists today. And I'm not suggesting they are responsible for everything, but what we are seeing today is at a level that is so demented, so inexplicably horrible, so off the charts depraved, that I would not be in the slightest bit surprised or shocked or in any way befuddled by the fact that something that is called satanic could very well be a part of a significant portion of this horrible world that we live in. And I'm, for purposes of this medium, I talk about this in my own channel at LionelMedia.com, where I can go into absolute off the chart explication, if you know what I mean. But what we are seeing now defies anything even remotely believable. So if you have children, beware and be careful. And please, please, please do everything in your power to protect them and tell them what is going on out there. Don't worry about scaring them. Inoculate them with the truth. Make them impenetrable. Make them always tell you anything that comes up. And please, if you have digital devices, please, please, that's how they get your kids. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. The sad part about what I'm saying, the scariest part, it's all true. No need to exaggerate this horror. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Don't forget, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. $200 off for 3 months supply kit. Go and look and see. Emergency food. And now, if you would and you could, please, I ask you, as a great Nick Drake would intone, to comment as you see fit.